Hello, Aluxers. We're glad to have you joining us today. We know you've seen it. It's impossible not to. Billionaires and millionaires heading off to their lavish holiday homes to protect themselves and their families from COVID-19. Or the endless images of themselves roughing it out in their lavish homes, posting videos and images of how difficult it is to cope under these trying circumstances. Hey Luxers, we know that during these tough times, you'd have far more class and decorum and be trying to find solutions or assisting where you can. And this list highlights just some of the exemplary billionaires making a huge difference. We're certain in your community, like ours, there are people making a difference and trying to uplift the morale. From sewing masks, to collecting food for the poor, to shopping for the elderly or offering free online sessions to your neighborhood kids. This virus has brought communities and people together despite the social distancing in place. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So let's give some credit to some of the world's billionaires that have really stepped up during the pandemic. Number 1. Giorgio Armani. Italy has been one of the hardest hit countries with over 20,000 deaths directly linked to coronavirus. So many Italian leaders and celebrities have come together to do their bit to help the fight against COVID. Even famous opera singer Andrea Bocelli sang in an empty Duomo di Milano cathedral over Easter, allowing millions to stream into his free performance. Giorgio Armani, the Italian fashion designer, and the Armani Group were some of the first to jump on board to get to helping, and the first decision they made was to hold Milan Fashion Week behind closed doors. They then changed over their factories to produce single-use medical overalls instead of the latest fashion, and has donated millions to hospitals in Milan, Rome, Bergamo, Versilia, and Piacenza, and has also given to the Italian Civil Protection Agency. He's also bought full-page advertisements in 60 newspapers, highlighting the work of frontline healthcare workers, and wrote, "It's moving to see you engaged in your work with all the difficulties and the great efforts that by now all the world knows, and especially to see you cry. I think that this feeling is connected to my own desire to become a doctor when I was young, and I was looking to forge my path." Number 2. Bernard Arnault. This French billionaire is the chairman and chief executive of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, or LVMH, which is the largest luxury goods company in the world. There's a severe shortage of hand sanitizer around the world, with people dubbing the alcohol-based solution as liquid gold. Arnault has converted several of his perfume factories to produce hand sanitizer instead, which will be distributed at no cost to French authorities and hospitals. They've further committed to handing out 40 million masks to France every week, with the first delivery costing them around $5.4 million. The aim was to produce 12 tons of sanitizer in as little as a week. Number 3. Li Kashing. Hong Kong's second richest man, Li Kashing, has contributed roughly $13 million toward the fight against COVID-19. The money was donated to Wuhan, where the pandemic started, and came from his charity foundation, the Li Kashing Foundation. His nickname is Superman, and he's definitely lived up to that title since the coronavirus began. He was the chairman of CK Hutchison Holdings and CK Asset Holdings, but retired in 2018. His son has since taken over, and they have over 300,000 employees in over 50 nations. His foundation has donated $3.3 billion in total since its inception in 1980. Along with other wealthy individuals in Hong Kong, a total of $143 million has been donated along with protective suits, goggles, and gloves, and the donations keep coming in. Number 4. Jack Ma. Alibaba founder Jack Ma has donated in the region of $14.5 million in efforts against the coronavirus. He shipped over 100 tons of infection-preventing supplies to Africa and 1.5 million laboratory diagnostic test kits. Ethiopian Airlines will ensure the donation gets to where it's needed, free of charge. A second donation was also given by Jack Ma, which was said to benefit all 54 countries in Africa, with an additional 200,000 suits and face shields, 2,000 thermometers, 500 extra ventilators, 1 million swabs, and 500,000 pairs of gloves. And coming up, a billionaire finds himself ridiculed on social media and makes amends quite swiftly. Stay tuned. Number 5. Steve and Connie Ballmer. Husband and wife duo Steve and Connie Ballmer have donated in the region of $25 million in COVID relief. Steve Ballmer was the CEO of Microsoft from 2000 to 2014 and is the owner of the LA Clippers. The first $10 million was given to the University of Washington's Medicine's Emergency Response Fund to help speed up the search for a vaccine against the virus. The couple, along with a number of NBA players, also donated money to arena employees unable to work at the moment because of the pandemic. Funds were also given to the Los Angeles Unified School District to help the homeless and low-wage workers. Money was also given to the Los Angeles Community College District to assist with food for families that could no longer work because of the outbreak. And Aluxers, there's so much information being fed to us every day about the coronavirus, and we have some food for thought about it here in our video. Coronavirus, 15 things we want you to think about. Now let's acknowledge some more billionaires that have really stepped up during the pandemic. Number 6. Mark Zuckerberg. Reports are mixed when pinpointing the exact amount Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla have donated, but it's somewhere between $25 and $36 million. The Chan Zuckerberg Initiative's commitments have seen Bay Area organizations receive $5 million. UC San Francisco's labs got $4 million and enough to allow for free COVID-19 testing. $1.65 million went to various education-related grants, and Bill Gates' COVID-19 accelerator received $20 million, with talks of another $5 million coming. They also committed to match a further $20 million in donations to the United Nations Foundation, the WHO, and the CDC. Mark Zuckerberg announced via Facebook they would also donate the 720,000 masks they had, which were bought in case there were California wildfires, with a pledge to source millions more. Number 7. Mukesh Ambani. He's the richest man in India, although since the COVID-19 pandemic, Mukesh Ambani has lost millions of dollars every day. He isn't the only person in India experiencing huge financial losses because of COVID. Ritesh Agarwal from Oyo saw a $4 billion drop in his company's valuation, going from $10 billion to $6 billion in just 2 months. Despite his own huge daily losses, Ambani still has donated $66.7 million to the Coronavirus Emergency Fund, Ambani's nonprofit Reliance Foundation. This donation wasn't immediately forthcoming as Ambani found himself being the subject of ridicule on Twitter. His wife had posted a video of him clanging a bell as the people of India took 5 minutes to step outside and bang or clang anything that could make a noise to recognize those in the front lines of the outbreak. As was pointed out by several people on Twitter, billionaires around the world had all donated generously, and what does the richest man in India do? He clangs a bell. Thumbs down from thousands of people, but he did make up for it with his substantial contribution. Number 8. Jeff Bezos. $100 million is mere pocket change for the richest man in the world, but when it comes to the fight against the coronavirus, it's going a long way. He was giving the substantial donation to Feeding America, which is a nonprofit organization in America that aims to feed the poor and destitute. Amazon has pledged a further $20 million to AWS Diagnostic Development Initiative and employed over 100,000 extra staff members to assist with the extra demand on delivered items across the globe, with a wage increase of $2 an hour. A further $5 million has been given to small businesses, $1 million to a Seattle organization helping them battle with COVID, and $1 million to COVID funds being collected in Washington, D.C. It hasn't all been smooth sailing for Bezos, though, as he came under fire when he asked the public to donate to his Amazon Relief Fund, which would have made money available to Amazon contract employees. Amazon pledged $25 million to the fund and said if people felt the need to donate, they could. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index recently confirmed that Bezos is one of few billionaires to see his fortune grow during the pandemic, and his wealth has seen roughly a 20% increase, making his net worth $138 billion. Number 9. Bill and Melinda Gates. In a Financial Times interview, Bill Gates warned the chances of a massive pandemic occurring every 20 years is likely to happen. He mentioned it on a TED Talk in 2015, stating, "We're not ready for the next epidemic," and again in 2017, when he wrote in a Business Insider article the next epidemic would be a super contagious and deadly strain of the flu. The $100 million that Bill and his wife Melinda have donated through their foundation is going toward the global detection of the virus, isolation efforts, and treatment of COVID-19. The money will also be used to develop a vaccine and to assisting frontline responders. As of April 16th, they had pledged an additional $150 million in response to U.S. President Donald Trump decided to halt funding to the WHO, stating the World Health Organization had failed in its basic duty. Number 10. Jack Dorsey. He's the Twitter CEO, and he's also responsible for putting aside an incredible $1 billion in Square equity for corona relief, specifically for girls' health and education and a universal basic income. $1 billion represents 28% of his wealth, and his biggest hope is that the huge donation will inspire others to donate just as much or more. Dorsey has made a Google Doc public so you can track exactly where the funds go and which organizations will benefit. And Aluxers, with that, here we are at the end of our list. What have you done in your area to help those around you? Share your actions with other Aluxers so we can keep that ball rolling, and like Jack Dorsey, hopefully inspire others to do the same. Let us know all about it in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, here's your bonus. There have been so many celebrities who've made massive contributions, like Pink, who donated $1 million. Lady Gaga raised over $35 million. George and Amal Clooney donated $1 million. Angelina Jolie gave $1 million, and Rihanna donated an incredible $5 million. And that's just scratching the surface. Then, of course, there are people like you, doing your part, staying inside, sharing ways to get involved and make a difference. We value you and your input, and despite all the bad, have loved the altruistic spirit that's emerged because of COVID-19. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, Alux.com. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.